Everyone, thanks for joining me today for this yin practice. We're going to be focused mostly on the feet today, but we'll be getting some of the major joints and muscles involved in this practice as well. I would like to begin in child's pose, but before we do, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and please hit the little notice button so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. We'll start today in child's pose. So bring your knees wide, your big toes together. And just a variation on child's pose that I'd like to show you. If you have a couple of blocks, you can set them up in front of you, just a couple of feet in front of your knees. If you don't have blocks, use books or maybe pillows or something like that. It's definitely a option. But as you come forward, you can take your hands and set them right down onto the blocks and then let your forehead come down onto the mat. Just in the same way as your usual child's pose, extend through the spine, let your hips settle back towards your heels. Just getting a little additional stretch through the shoulders here. Maybe feeling it in the sides of the waist, the rib cage, which incidentally, studies have shown that people who practice yoga, and specifically these practices that like twists and practices where we're opening up the muscles around the rib cage, are more able to can take in more oxygen, have a higher VO2 max, because the stiffness and tightness of the muscles around the rib cage can actually prevent your lungs from completely inflating. So just being here, letting the hips be heavy, letting the arms extend out over the blocks, using them whatever way is comfortable. And turn your focus in towards your breath. Let's take 5 more breaths here. Really trying to keep our mind fully on our own, or on our breath, on ourself. Full breath awareness. Then to come out of this pose, you can just push the blocks out of the way and start to press into your hands. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring the shoulders up over the hips. You might want to draw your knees in towards one another a little bit. And I want to show you a little foot massage that I learned. Now I'm going to turn so that you can see me. Can you see my feet? Yeah? So taking your right foot and putting the top of your right foot right onto the arch of your left. There's like a little lump in the top of your foot, a little bony lump. You want to get that right into the arch of your foot, of your left foot. And then roll up to sit on putting some weight down into your heel. So you're just pressing into that left arch. Now what I'll do, I'm going to turn now. What I'll do is I'll even take my right knee and start making some little motions with it, some little movements. There. And just giving a little massage right into your left foot. Feels good. Moving whatever way you like, or being still with it. It can feel kind of intense if you have any fascia issues on the bottom of your feet because you're really pressing right into them. Great thing to do first thing in the morning because the fascia repair overnight. So just bring your hands down to the mat, lift your right foot off your left, and then do the other side so you can bring the left top of your foot onto your right arch. Be prepared as you come back. It might not feel exactly the same as it did on the first side. And then just settle the hips back down. You can maybe move around a little bit till it feels good. And then the left knee can make some circles or maybe just swing it from side to side. Massaging that right foot. Then you can come off of there, hoping the feet feel good now. Bring come to sit on the mat with your hips right in the center of the mat. Bring the soles of your feet to the mat. Actually, let's extend them out. Extend your legs and bring the right foot, the right ankle over the left knee. Coming to like a seated figure four. And give your ankle a couple of rolls while it's hanging off the side of your left leg. And then extend that heel away, so you're drawing the toes back towards the body. And from here, we can stay like this, or you can bring the left knee in towards your body. Getting a little hip stretch. I like to roll onto my right hip a couple of times. You can make this stretch as intense as you like. You can bring your heel in and press your heart in towards your right shin. Roll across the right heel or the right hip. Now from here, you can also take this opportunity to give your foot a little massage. And I take my fingers and press them right into my toes. So I'm like interlacing my fingers with my toes. And give a little squeeze here and squeeze them in. You can give your ankle another turn in each direction. Pull your toes away, so you're pointing them, like extending the top of your foot, and then push your toes back towards your shin, breaking any tension in the bottom of the foot, and do that a couple of times. Whatever feels good here. Just move that foot around while you've got the toes pressed away from one another, just releasing any ligament tension in the tarsals, the metatarsals. Now you can stay doing that, or you can just bring your left hand to the mat, let your toes relax while we hold this pose for another maybe 20 breaths. If you like, you can recline down onto your back. Take a reclined figure four in any version, any way that you like, or stay up. And to come out of this pose, just extend the left heel down to the bottom of the mat. And you can help your right leg off of the left, give them a little shake. And then we'll come to the other side. So scoop that left knee in, bring the left ankle over the right knee. That ankle a couple of turns, let your knee fall heavy. Stay like this. If you're already feeling a stretch out here on the outer side of the hip, stay here. Or you can just bring your hands back to support you as you draw your right foot in towards your right hip. You can rock a couple of times onto the left hip. Not necessarily technically yin, but I think it feels good. It's like giving your hip a little massage, opening it. And then once you've had enough of that, you can interlace your fingers of your right hand into your left toes. And then begin to make some circles with the ankles. If you feel any sort of, I can feel movement. This is the foot I have that causes me some more problems. And I can feel the ligaments and tendons opening up. As I just do this little self-massage. Rolling the toes back towards the shin and then pointing them hard, stretching across the top of my foot. And that a couple of times. Making some circles. Just moving it really in whatever way feels good. Just pulling on the toes. Squeeze tight with your fingers. Then you can release your hand out of there if you like, or you can keep doing it. And take a few moments here in the seated figure four. If you want to recline, go ahead. If you prefer that. I know we're using our hands to support ourselves here, but let's avoid dumping down into the shoulders. Keep pressing your shoulders down and away from your ears. Keep your heart up. And when you're ready to come out of this pose, just extend the right heel down to the far end of the mat. Bring your left leg with it. Use your hands to support yourself. So you're seated with your legs extended out long. Feel free, we're gonna come to a forward fold, so feel free to put something underneath your knees so that they don't hyperextend. It'll help your low back to round down a little more easily. But before we do it, here, I need to move back. We're sitting nice and tall, lengthen up through the spine, roll the shoulders back, and bring some attention to your feet. Let's pull the toes back, all the toes back towards your body. Give them a nice point them as hard as you can. Come to a neutral position. Now push just your big toes away from your body and all the other four back towards you. And then switch that. Pull your big toes back towards your body and push your little toes away. And it looks like kind of like you're giving a thumbs up. And now kind of like you're giving a thumbs down with your toes. Just keep moving through this a couple of times. Moving the feet, isolating the action, the motion, the range of motion of your big toe, that big toe knuckle can really make a big difference in the health of your foot. And then maybe squeeze all your 10 toes in like you're making a fist with your feet, and then open them out as much as you can. Squeeze and open and squeeze. You can do your hands at the same time. See which gets tired first, your feet or your hands. There we go. We'll lengthen up through the spine, and we're going to take an easy forward fold here. So bringing your hands on either side of your legs, just roll down. Tuck your chin and let your body roll and relax down over your legs. Arms are hanging loose out of the shoulder socket. You can even turn your palms up so that it's just less tempting to press into the mat or pull yourself along. Tuck your chin so the weight of your head is falling down towards the knees. Now, if you don't like that, you can take a block or a pillow, rest your forehead on it. But really, we want the upper body, the arms, the shoulders, the upper back, the head to be as loose and relaxed as possible. And this is going to allow you to just to allow gravity to take your body further forward and down. The spine is deeply rounded here, so we never grab and pull on ourselves to come further down. Just let it happen naturally over time. You may notice as you breathe that you become light, you float up out of this pose a little bit, and then as you exhale, you sink a little further. Just go with that. You'll notice over time, over your deep breaths, you'll fall more deeply into the pose without having to pull or force ourselves. Almost like the space opens up and then you fall into it rather than pushing your way into a space. It sort of opens up and invites you in. Notice again where you're feeling this pose the most. And does that feeling of intense sensation where the pose is felt the most along the spine, is that changing as we hold it and as we breathe? Is it moving? To come out of this pose, turn the palms down and walk your hands in next to your hips. Roll the shoulders up and back over your hips now. Lengthen up through the spine. I'm going to turn again. Take your block or whatever, if you have a blanket that's folded up with you. And we're going to come down onto our back. So use your hands to support yourself. Lower all the way down onto your back. And from here, I want to come into a supported bridge pose. So you're going to bring your heels in towards your sits bones. Make sure you're nice and relaxed through your upper body. Shoulder blades are tucked underneath you. And then press into the hips, into the feet, to lift the hips. And slide your block right underneath your hips. It should be right on the back of your pelvis, right on the bony back of your pelvis, not really on the vertebrae at all. So we want to be supporting ourselves with this bony structure here. From here, you can do whatever you like, whatever feels good. Now for runners, I like to extend the heels down to the far corners of the mat. So you're really getting a nice stretch right across those hip flexors. Probably really good for a bicycler too, is my guess. If you're not feeling that today, you can really let the feet relax. Toes hang open. If you're not feeling that today, another nice thing to do is bring the soles of your feet together and let the knees fall open. So you're sort of in a reclined butterfly with the block. You can always keep the soles of your feet on the mat. Knock your knees in towards one another. Hands can rest, one on your tummy and one on your chest, so you can feel your breath in this pose. Or you can bring them out to like cactus arms, or maybe extend your arms right overhead. With the heels extended, you get a real nice opening through the front of the body. I find this is a nice way to, well, this will be our final pose today. And back bends, even passive, gentle back bends, can be very relaxing, or can be very energizing, actually. So they can start to get the energy moving around your body. As you breathe here, you might start to feel that sense of energy churning up. Slipping the hands back down next to your body. Can bring the heels into your sits bones. Press into your feet just enough so that you can slide that block out from underneath you and set it aside. And lower your spine bit by bit down onto the mat. Really lengthen into the spine here. It always feels like I've grown a little bit more, a little bit taller after I've been holding a gentle back bend like that. Just breathe into the spine, into the length of the spine. And then we can extend the heels down to the far corners of the mat, coming once again to Savasana. This time without the block. You can tuck your shoulder blades in underneath you. Roll through your breath. Just notice how you're feeling here. When you're ready to come out of this pose, just begin by wiggling your fingers and toes, taking a big breath in, feeding some oxygen to your body, just turning the wrists and the ankles. Turn your head from side to side. Begin to make some movement up your limbs towards your body. Bring your hands over your chest, interlace the fingers, and then press the palms out overhead. Come to a full body stretch. Then bring your interlaced palms, your interlaced fingers, bring the palms just to the base of your skull, where your skull and your neck meet. Set it back down, maybe press those palms up and away again. And draw your knees to your chest, give yourself a hug, sway from side to side. Eventually making your way onto your side in a fetal position. And when you're ready, take your time about coming up to sit. Keep your eyes shut, your chin tucked into your throat. Find yourself seated in a way that's comfortable for you. Bring the crown of your head up last. Gently open your eyes and let's inhale the fingertips to the ceiling. As you exhale, thumbs to the third eye, and let's hinge forward. For our final pose today, namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope you liked it, and I hope you're feeling great. If you did like it, go ahead and hit the like button. Let everyone know. And go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you liked about this practice so that I can include more of that in future practices. I hope you have a great day. Namaste.